Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Hilltop, home of the Harrison County Fillies. And tonight, the Fillies play host to region rival, the Scott High Lady Eagles. Good evening to you, Ed Lewis, along with you here on this Friday night, sitting in for Jim Swinford. We're glad you're along with us here on this Friday, both on our YouTube page as well as our WCYN2 app tonight. We are being brought to you by some great folks, including Cynthiana Tire, Ag Credit, Angelo's Pizza, Sora Home Medical, Van Hook Hardware, Poindexter Lumber, Primo Smiles, Harrison Memorial Hospital, Southern States, Edward Jones, Bluegrass Stockyards, Hidden Mills. Also being brought to you tonight by your Cynthiana Hardys, Unity Christian Church, by the Canuck Law, Joe Cochran and State Farm, by Judy Construction, also by Snappy Tomato Pizza, as well as Farm Credit Mid-America. Also, great folks allowing us to be with you, as well as Kentucky Farm Bureau. Allowing us to be with you here tonight. A pregame report being brought to you by your Cynthiana Hardys. Go check out your Cynthiana Hardys for lots of great food. As we mentioned, our pregame report, first the Scott High Lady Eagles under first-year head coach Eric Oponsi Jr. The Lady Eagles come in with a 1-1 record, of course, this year. After finishing last year in the first round of the district tournament, they fell to Campbell County. Last year, they were 12-19 on the season, but have had a very good record against the Fillies over the years. We'll take more look at that in a moment. So we mentioned Scott won their first game back on December the 2nd, last Saturday, by knocking off Dayton 68-12. They then turned around and lost last Saturday to Lewis County 46-44. And as we mentioned tonight, it's only the third game in their season. They're also back in action later next week as they play Lloyd Memorial back up at Taylor Mill. This Harrison County Ball Club under first-year head coach Bill Watson, but that obviously he's no stranger to high school sports. Comes in under the first year as a Harrison County coach at 0-2 on the young year. Fillies, of course, a year ago at 15-12, losing in the first round of the district last year as well. So you mentioned Harrison County did get their season going last week as well, as they fell back on November 30th to St. Henry, 43-20. They then returned here for their only other home game last Saturday, where they fell to Lloyd Memorial 62-37. It's going to be a busy weekend for Harrison County. After tonight, they will be back here at the Hilltop tomorrow afternoon as they take on Ludlow. Ludlow, only the second time that these two schools will meet. And as we said, that will be tomorrow. So it should be a very interesting matchup when those two clubs get ready to tangle. So we mentioned our pregame being brought to you this evening by your Cynthiana Hardys. We we're glad you're along with us. Stay with us. Of course, we'll have your national anthem as well as your starting lineups coming from your PA announcer, athletic director Brad Allison, in just a little while. As we mentioned, taking a look back as far as the last few years, going back to 2006, Scott has pretty much owned the series against Harrison County once they came into the 10th region. Long time, they were in the 9th region over the years. Scott has won, out of 17 matchups, have won 13 of those. Harrison County with only 4. We've only seen one of them go to overtime. That was back in 2007. Saw Scott win that one. And they have met a couple of times in the 10th Region Basketball Tournament, with Scott winning both of those. The last time Harrison County did walk away with a win was just a year ago. They knocked off the Scott High Lady Eagles 58-41. Before that, Scott had won a total of 7 in a row in the series. So that's a little bit as far as their history. As we mentioned, the Fillies did beat them in 2006, 2007. As well as 2012, and then a year ago when they did meet as well. JV game, well, not a pretty game. Fillies losing earlier tonight, 47-22, your final here earlier this evening. As we mentioned, the Fillies at home tonight. The Harrison County Thoroughbreds on the road tonight. They are on WCYN radio side of things, as they are looking for their 4th win in a row to start the young year, as they make the trip up to Bishop Brossard, their first road trip and road test. And Brossard, never an easy place to go, right up 27. As we mentioned, Harrison County 3-0 on the year with a big win back on the 29th just a week ago, 54-53. They knocked off Central Hardin just a week ago tonight, 67-64. And then pretty much did what they needed to do against the Jaguars last Saturday of East Jessamine. 63-39 was your final. But the Breds also with a very busy weekend and a busy week ahead. As I mentioned, they are not only in action tonight, they make the trip to Bracken County to participate in the St. Elizabeth Sports Medicine 9th, 10th Region Challenge. As I mentioned, they make the trip to Bracken County and take on the Boone County Rebels. Boone obviously out of the 9th. Now, game time is set for 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And then On Tuesday night, they will return to the Hilltop, take on the defending state champions. George Rogers Clark will come calling on Tuesday night. They then wrap up next weekend on Friday night. The Blue Devils of Henry Clay here at the Hilltop. And Saturday night, John Hardin. They have not got an easy test over the next week or so. Rossford always a tough place to go. Boone always a very rough ball club. Clark County obviously the defending state champions. Henry Clay, they always play hard, and so does John Hardin. So a very busy week for Coach Brooks's Harrison County Thoroughbreds, as we mentioned, as they inch their way closer to taking a look at the winter break. Well, as you can hear, the band is here. Nice crowd on hand so far here tonight. And as we continue to see a few more people come in. Pre-game report being brought to you by your Cynthiana Hardee's as we take a look at your starters here tonight. First for the Scott High Lady Eagles, as we mentioned, with a one record on the year. They will be led on the floor with a couple of players at double figures, one being senior Presley Grant. Grant averages 13 points on wear the number 12. The other player in double figures will be Autumn Ponder. Ponder also a senior, averaging 10 points on the year and wears the number 11. Also getting a start, averaging 4.5 points on the year, will be Kaylee Overman. Overman leading the team in rebounds. She is a senior as well. Also getting a start tonight, averaging 3 points on the year, Ariana Patterson. Patterson wears the number 4. And also the sophomore, Kaya Peterson. Peterson averaging 6.5 points, wears the number 21 on the year. So that is the way Scott will have their lineup when we see them take to the floor in just a little bit. Harrison County, as we mentioned, the Fillies, under first-year head coach Bill Watson, 0-2 on the young year. They have one player averaging double figures, and that is Keely Custard. Custard, a freshman, wears the number 21. Also getting a start tonight, it will be a sophomore at one guard. It will be Bailey Hudgens. Hudgens averaging 3 points on the year, wears the number 23. Also getting a start, sophomore Katie Linville. Katie Linville averaging 0 points on the year. She wears the number 34. Getting a start will be freshman Marty Toll. Toll averaging 0 points, wears the number 42. And finally in the middle, the senior Caroline Van Hook. Van Hook averaging 7.5 points on the year, wears the number 22. As I mentioned, leads the team in rebounds. She will be getting a start tonight as well. As far as on the season, Harrison County averaging 28.5 points on the year, while Scott High Lady Eagles averaging 56 points on the year. So that is the way a little bit look at both ball clubs as we inch our way closer to getting tonight's game underway. As we mentioned, both, Harrison County's actually returned back to the locker room. Scott's still doing a little bit of warm-up here out on the floor. Very nice crowd on hand for a Friday night in the month of December. We'll need to see what's going on. Not a lot of students as far as the student body section. But as we mentioned, it is a Friday night in December. Well, just taking a look at the schedule, as we mentioned, tomorrow afternoon, Ludlow comes in. And we'll be along with you for that one tomorrow right here on the app as well as on our YouTube page. That'll be going on tomorrow. Then on Tuesday night, this Phillies ball club makes a trip to Bracken County to take on the Lady Polar Bears. We'll be along with you here on WC102's app on Tuesday night. And then a week from the night, this Philly ball club makes a trip 27 to take on the Lady Hounds of Paris. And we'll be with you right here on the app as well for that one. So a busy, busy week over the next so for Harrison County as well. Well, the officials have made their way to the floor. The Phillies have made their way back out as they continue their warm-up drills. Scott doing a little bit of high-fiving as the Lady Eagles and the Phillies get ready to tangle. Game number 3 of this year's 2022-23 campaign. Our pregame report this afternoon or this evening has been brought to you by your Cynthiana Hardee's. Go check out your Cynthiana Hardee's. Want you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. US 27 South, made from scratch biscuits, never frozen burgers, and many other great options for your Hardee's in Cynthiana, including breakfast till noon, both Saturday and Sunday. Normally about this time of our pregame report, we would hear from Unity Christian Church and Pastor Bruce Templeton. Go join them, of course, for all their Christmas festivities. He'll, of course, be a monthly guest a week from Tuesday on Coffee Break Extra. Unity Christian Church. Some nice folks out there. And they normally would have our pregame prayer. Now, right now, the officials have returned to the table. Both clubs getting ready for the starting lineups. And as we mentioned, we will head in a moment here to our athletic director, PA announcer tonight, Brad Allison. We'll have the starting lineups as well as our national anthem to follow by the Harrison County Band. So, well, just kind of waiting to get everybody. The clock will run down, and now to our athletic director, Brad Allison.
Harrison County High School for tonight's game between the Scott Eagles and your Harrison County Fillies. At this time, we would ask that you please stand and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. The colors tonight are being presented by cadets from the Harrison County High School Air Force Junior ROTC program. Carrying the U.S. flag and commanding is Cadet Colonel Peyton Fryman. Carrying the Kentucky State flag is Cadet Captain Eli Blake. And the guards tonight are Cadet Captain Miles Bryant and Cadet Second Lieutenant Oscar McDuffie. Your Star Spangled Banner will be played by the Harrison County High School Pep Band. Thank you.
It's a nice national anthem brought to you by the Harrison County Pep Band. Now our starting lineups.
Starting lineups. First for the visiting team tonight, the Scott Eagles. Number 4, Ariana Patterson. Number 11, Autumn Andrew. Number 12, Presley Grant. Number 13, Kayla Overman. And number 21, Kaya Peterson. Now the starting lineups for the Harrison County Fillies.
Here's your starting lineup. So introduced to the crowd here at the Hilltop, and we're about ready to get this matchup underway. The Scott High Lady Eagles are 1-1 on the year under first-year head coach Erico Ponce Jr. As we mentioned, they'll be starting with Presley Grant, Kayla Overman, Ariana Patterson, Kaya Peterson, and Autumn Ponder. Harrison County countering with Keely Custard, Caroline Van Hook, Bailey Hudgens, Katie Linville, and Marley Toll. As we get ready to go, Van Hook will be jumping for Harrison County. Let's see who's going up there for Scott. Right now, waiting on somebody to come back out on the floor. We've got 4 Lady Eagles. Well, I thought Peterson may have jumped it. She seems to be the closest to the circle, but whoever we're waiting on, I'll get them going here in just a moment. Harrison County 0-2 on the year under head coach Bill Watson, looking for his first win as the head of the Fillies. As we mentioned, is a longtime high school coach throughout the state, and last stop over Bourbon County the last several years. There we go. Finally, Grant will make her way back out on the floor. So now that we got everybody where they're going to go, I'm going to guess Grant. Well, maybe not. Looks like they're debating who's going to jump. It looks like it's going to be Overman, which Overman does lead the team in rebounds. So Van Hook and Overman get it up. Harrison County will come out with it, and quickly making her way out with it will be Custer. Custer comes across the timeline looking to set up the offense. Goes to the left side. Being guarded by Grant loosely across the way. Harrison County will move the ball around. Toll looking inside. Goes to Van Hook. Van Hook tries to go around her defender. Puts it up. No good. Out with the rebound comes to Scott. The Lady Eagles moving the ball down the floor. Putting it up and in. Off the glass is Kaylee Overman. Overman makes it 2-0. Quick 30-second timeout on the floor. And whatever Coach Watson did not like what he saw. Harrison County coming out very slow, at least in the first few moments. 7:33 here in the first quarter of play. Barely underway here at the Hilltop. 2-0 our score. Lady Eagles score on their first possession. Harrison County, as I mentioned, tried and was not able to get the ball in the hole. Well, as we mentioned, tomorrow afternoon we're back along with you as Harrison County and Ludlow meet for only the second time in school history. It's tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 scheduled tip-off. We'll be on the air a little before that tomorrow. Van Hook gets it into Custard. Custard will see the Lady Eagles go full man-to-man here. Harrison County trying to get the ball down the floor, across the timeline. Custard will have it tipped from behind her by Grant. Goes out of bounds off Scott. Harrison County will take the ball out in front of the Lady Eagles bench. It's Hudgens getting ready to get the ball into play. Bailey trying to get it up. And guarded very closely by the Lady Eagles. She'll get it back into Toll. Toll gets it back out front to Hudgens. Hudgens looking to her right, then goes left. Continue to be guarded very closely by the Scott. She'll pick up her dribble. Out on the left side, gives it to Custard, about 15 feet out, up, no good. Rebound fought for, and coming out with it will be Harrison County. The Phillies trying to move the ball around. A bounce pass to Van Hook. Right wing, three-pointer, misses everything. Out of bounds it'll go. Harrison County will throw the ball away, and the Lady Eagles will take the ball out of bounds. Grant will quickly get the ball back into play. Gets it to Patterson. Patterson gets it across the timeline. She's immediately picked up by Toll. Over on the right side. Lady Eagles looking to go inside. They'll put up a shot. No good. Balls continue to be fought for, and out with it will be Hudgens. Bailey wanting to run. Brings it down across the timeline. Looking to the right side. So she'll find Van Hook. She'll look from the right wing. Goes underneath. The bounce pass across to Custer. Custer out on the left wing. Looking to go down the lane. Couple of dribbles. Picks it up. She is heavily being defended. Underhand to Toll. Toll back to Hudgens. Hudgens goes down the lane. She'll run into those trees. Puts it up and in for her. The first basket of the ball game. And we're tied at 2-all. Quickly at the other end we go. The Eagles put the ball up. No good. Fought for. Continues to be fought for. And knocking it out of bounds. It will be on Scott. Looks like that time out off of Ariana Patterson. Hudgens tries and will get it into Custer. Custer back to Hudgens. Bailey wanting to run. The defender quickly coming up. She'll tip it away from her. And at the other end we go. Bringing the ball down will be Overman. Overman gets the ball knocked out of bounds off of Harrison County. It remains Scott ball. I don't know. It was off of Scott. So Harrison County ball. Van Hook into Custer. 6:05 left to go here in the first quarter. Trying to move the ball around. That's Linville. Linville gets it back to Van Hook. She'll bring it across the timeline. She is quickly picked up by Patterson. Looking to go down the lane. Gets away from her defender. Gives up to Custer. Long three-pointer. No good. Ball fought for. Harrison County puts it back up. No good. And out of bounds it'll go. They'll say it's off of the Philly, or off of them, Scott rather. And knocked off of Overman. Harrison County takes it out. Hudgens trying to get it into play. Continues to hold the ball. Out front, she'll go to Van Hook. Van Hook gets away with the travel. Picks it back out front. It's time to Linville. Linville looks to go down on the left side. About 3 feet out. Picks up her dribble. Goes back out front. Hudgens long three-pointer from the left wing. Too hard. And knocked around. Custer with the rebound. 10 feet out. Up and off the glass. No. Out with the rebound. Fought for. And here come the Lady Eagles. They'll take flight. Harrison County's Hudgens tries to intercept, but ends up knocking it out of bounds. 5:25, first quarter of play. We're tied at 2-all. Eagles will take the ball out of bounds. That's Ponder trying to get it in. Ponder in the backcourt. She'll find Overman. Overman, or Patterson rather. Patterson across. Van Hook will strip it. Goes the other way. She'll go up and has the ball knocked out of her hands by Grant. Ball continues to be fought for, and coming out with it will be the Eagles, but being double teamed, she'll have to throw the ball down the floor. Patterson gets it across. Harrison County will take the ball away. Other end we go. Van Hook to Hudgens. Hudgens gets the ball knocked out of her hands. They'll say it's off of the Eagles. Remains Harrison County ball. And going to the bench, bringing in Kylie Peterson, will be the Eagles. Peterson averaging 7 points on the year. One of those seniors, a very senior-led ball club. Back to Van Hook. Van Hook out front. Peterson on her. Picks up her dribble, underhands it to Hudgens. Bailey trying to get away from their defender, but Scott staying right with her. That's Kaya Patterson. Continues to try to take it away. Peterson will take it away. Ball rolls on the floor. We got to fight for it, and let's see who comes out with it. Possession row belongs to Scott, and that's who will take the ball out. Take it out around center court. That's Grant. Grant gets it back into play. She'll get it to Ponder. Ponder picked up by Custer. Over on the left side. That's Overman. Overman back out front. The Lady Eagles holding the ball over their head, trying to move the ball around. Going way back out front we go. Harrison County doing a nice bit of man-to-man defense here. And the official said nope, she palmed the ball, and with the turnover off of Kylie Overman, Harrison County will take it over. Tied at 2-all. 4:18 here in the first quarter. Ball put back into play. Custer. Keeley bringing the ball slowly down the floor. Gets it back across the timeline on the right side to Toll. Toll back out to Linville. Linville looks underneath, finds Van Hook off the glass, up and in for two. Harrison County takes their first lead of the night, 4-2, at the 3:58 mark. The other end we go very quickly, and call for turnover, palming the ball again, and that time she's knocked the ball down. Lucky the official didn't say anything. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm is there. Get a new home or auto quote with Joe and his team by calling 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Phillies and the Breds. Van Hook gets the ball back into play. Gets it to Keeley Custer. Custer brings it slowly across the timeline. Looking to go to her left. Ponder will pick her up. Back over to Linville. Linville across the way to Hudgens. Bailey goes in the lane. Picks up a dribble. Gets tied up with her defender. And the first foul of the ball game will go against Peterson. It's Kaya Peterson. And the ball game, number 5, Amberly Turner. Turner, a senior, averages 2.5 points on the year for the Lady Eagles. Hudgens goes back out front to Van Hook. Van Hook picks up a dribble, tries to go underneath, call for the travel, and at the turnover, the ball put back in the hands of the Lady Eagles. 4-2 our score, 3:34 here in the first quarter. Bringing the ball down, Scott High. Over on the right side, Lady Eagles looking to go inside, moving the ball nicely. Long three-pointer misses badly off the backboard. Ball fought for and tie-up call. Possession belongs to Scott. Well, apparently not. I guess I was looking at the wrong thing. Harrison County will take it out. Thought the board up there showed Scott, but maybe not. Harrison County will bring the ball down. Custer, wild shot, being double teamed. Ball fought for, and Toe will kick it back to Custer. Custer gets tied up. They'll call another tie up, and this time it'll belong to Scott. Harrison County back in the defense. Eagles will bring the ball down the floor. Looking to the left side. She'll pick up her dribble. Out front we go. Continuing to try to move the ball inside. As I mentioned, a very low-scoring ball game. Long three-pointer put up from the left wing. Off the backboard, no good. Out with the rebounds, Hudgens. And this one called against Kaylee Peterson. Second team foul here in the first quarter. Full timeout on the floor, called by the Scott High Lady Eagles. We'll take it with them here. 4-2 our score. Harrison County leading Scott High Lady Eagles. 2:40 left here in the first quarter. You're listening, of course, to Harrison County High School Phillies basketball here on WCYM. In the first quarter, Harrison County up 4-2. You know about the Beast Pizza, but don't forget about Snappy's great salads and sandwiches. Just dial 235-7627, 235-SNAP. I'm glad to see you've not lost your practice. As we continue on, Custer getting the ball back into play. Eagles picking her up very quickly is Turner. And another foul. This one's against Turner for Scott. Third team foul. Taking the ball out, Hudgens. Bailey trying to get it back into play, being guarded very, very closely by Peterson. She'll get it into play, then turns the ball over. Peterson wanted to run on the left side. She's taking flight. She was too busy watching the defenders behind her to keep up with the ball. And the ball goes out of bounds, so Harrison County will take over on the turnover. Hudgens gets it into Van Hook. And, man, the defense all over. Trying to move the ball around and bringing the ball down to Harrison County. They'll get tied up once again. Another jump ball, and this time the possession arrow belongs to Harrison County. 4-2 our score, 2:12. They've been there for the Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you right now. That's Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Mike Furnish, 859-254-2741, or visit efarmcredit.com. Farm Credit Mid-America. Great folks allowing us to be with you. Coming in for the first substitution of the ball game for Harrison County is sophomore Hayden Lunsford. Lunsford will come in for Bailey Hudgens. Harrison County will get the ball back into play. That's Van Hook back out front to Custer. And as we hit the 2-minute mark, Turner will come out and quickly pick her up. Custer about 5 feet out, long, kind of a wild-looking shot. Not able to do anything with it. Peterson picks it up, gets it down the floor, bringing it down Scott. They'll put up the shot, no good. Van Hook reaches up and does a nice job with the rebound, and she'll slowly come down the floor. Eagles will pick her up. Custer down on the right wing. Back out front to Van Hook. Van Hook picks up a shot around the free throw stripe, no good. And out with the rebound very quickly that time is Peterson. Peterson looking to bring the ball down. Will immediately hand the ball off to Grant. Continue to try to move the ball around. That's Ponder. Ponder a long three-pointer from the right side, no good. Custard gets the rebound, and Keeley comes down on the right wing. It's Peterson all over her. Turner will then come out with a help. They'll get double teamed. She's able to get the ball to Toll. Passing the ball around. Linville will find Lunsford about 5 feet out. No good. Ball fought for and out with the rebound. This time will be Ponder. Ponder bringing the ball down to the right side. Looks to attack. Kisses it off the glass. Up and in for two. Her first bucket of the ball game will tie it at 4-all into a minute. Keeley Custard bringing the ball down slowly on the right wing. Brings it across the timeline. All kinds of subs sitting at the scorer's table waiting to come in. Custard looking on the right wing. 40 seconds. Turner hanging with her. Looks to go to her right. Picks up about 5 feet out. Gets fouled that time by Ponder. And that will be Ponder's first, team fourth. And as I said, we got several subs that'll be in here just a moment. Custer was in the act of shooting, so she'll go to the stripe for a couple. But the first time Harrison County has went to the free throw line here this evening. Freshman, a couple of dribbles. A little too hard, not able to get that one to fall. She'll have another one. Savannah Kennedy will come in for Harrison County. I'll get you the other subs in a few moments. Second shot missed. Coming out with the rebound is Ponder, and Ponder's going to go whistle first, or no. Who did we get for the foul on that one? And the foul against Harrison County will be the first against the Fillies, and that one's against Keeley Custard. Ball put back into play. Eagles bringing the ball. Ponder. Peterson coming out to help her. Looking to go to the right side. Across the way we go. Long throwing pointer put up by the Lady Eagles. No good. Ponder out with the rebound. 18 seconds. Ponder picking up the dribble. Goes to the right. Long three-pointer from the right wing. Rolls in and back out. No good. Ball fought for. And out with it will be Lunsford. Ball loose on the floor. Rolls down out of bounds in front of the Eagles. And it will be Scott's ball with 5.4 seconds left. Hudgens will come off the bench for Harrison County. She'll be followed by Toll for the Fillies. Getting ready to get the ball back into play. Harrison County. Hudgens takes it out directly in front of the Scott bench. Goes to Toll. Toll gets it back to Hudgens and knocked out of bounds. 1.3 seconds left. Eagle ball. And a long shot put up that time, and they'll miss everything by Scott. Well, first quarter is now official, and we don't know much more than we did at the end of the first one. We're tied at 4-all. Harrison County and Scott High. You're listening to Fillies High School Basketball here on WCYN. We'll be back right after this quick timeout. To start the second quarter, Harrison County going with the lineup they started with, that being Custard, along with Toe, Van Hook, Hudgens, Linville all out there. I'll get you the lineup here in a few moments. Patterson looking to go to the right side. She'll go inside to Peterson, back to Patterson. Right wing, misses it, hits the front of the rim, no good. Out with the rebounds, Custard. Custard gets it across, Ponder picking her up. Custard sits up on the right side, tied at 4-all. Hudgens being guarded by Patterson. And Patterson gets a little over-aggressive that time, and the official says you can't do that, and that's her first, team fifth. Fillies will take it out. Just to this side of the Scott bench. And gets it back into the hands of Custer. Custer being guarded by Ponder. Looking to go to the right side. She'll go down the wing as Ponder falls down, kisses it off the glass for her first bucket of the ball game. Fillies back up 6-4. The other end we go. Bringing the ball down to Grant. Grant looking to go to the right side. Pulls up and cannot get it to fall. Ball fought for. We got bodies all over the place. Grant was out of bounds. Touches the ball and the turnover back to Harrison County. Carolina Van Hook will take it out. One of the few seniors on this Harrison County ball club. Hudgens, Bailey bringing the ball across the timeline. Looks to her right, being picked up by Patterson. Gets it back across. Over to Custer. Keeley looking to go inside. Picks up her dribble. Gets double teamed by Ponder and Peterson. And jump ball call. Possession remains with Harrison County. So Fillies will keep the ball. 6:52 here in the second quarter. 6-4 our score. Cynthiana Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. US 27 South. The Cynthiana, made from scratch biscuits, never frozen burgers, and many other great options at your Cynthiana Hardee's, including breakfast till noon on the weekends. Van Hook gets it back to Hudgens. Hudgens puts up a wild shot. I think Scott got a hand on it, though. Patterson brings the ball down, puts it off the glass. No good. Ball fought for. Continues to be fought for. And out with the rebound is Van Hook. Caroline wanted to run. It's a 4-on-1. She better pull up, and she does. Over to Custer. Long three-pointer. Misses everything, and out of bounds it'll go. Back to the Lady Eagles. 6-4 score. Harrison County with a 2-point lead. They have scored here in the second quarter. Eagles trying to get on the board in the second quarter. Patterson looking on the right side. Hudgens comes out to meet her. Tries to get away from Bailey. She hangs with her. A spin move up and in for two. Nice shot by Ariana Patterson. Ties it at 6-all. Hudgens bringing the ball down the floor. Bailey slowly comes across and will do just that. Patterson picks her up as she goes out on the right side. Top of the key, looking to go to her left. Loses a handle on it. Ball fought for. Bodies get knocked down, and it looks like Patterson knocked Hudgens out. But let's wait till the official says, yeah, that's what happened. Bailey gets up limping. And that will be Patterson's second, team 6. Savannah Kennedy will come off the bench for Harrison County as Hudgens will go to the bench. Kennedy, just an 8th grader. Harrison County gets the ball back into play. Custard looking to the right, a bounce pass across to Linville. Linville back out front to Kennedy. Long three-pointer top of the key, no good. Peterson out with it. She gets called as she nearly loses the handle on it and turns the ball over. The Eagles will go back to their bench, and Kaya Peterson will come in as Patterson has a seat. Just in case you're wondering, there is a Patterson and 3 Petersons on this bench, on this ball club. Ball put back into play. Linville looking to go to the left side. On the left, she'll give it up to Custard, who's out on the left wing. Keeley comes back at around the top of the key between center court and the top of the key, being guarded by Ponder. Gives it across the bounce pass on the right side. She'll find Van Hook back out front to Toe. Toe nearly loses a handle on it after a little contact. Body will put back into play. Linville about 5 feet out. Tries to go out front. She's intercepted. Peterson goes coast to coast, up and in for 2. It's Kaya Peterson, and that's her first bucket. 8-4. Scott will go back out in front by a bucket. And instead, there's a lot of contact going out, and Kayla Peterson got hit in the mouth, and officials making sure that she is not bleeding. And a little blood on her hand. She's asking for something to wipe it off with, but usually I'm going to tell her to have a seat, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
In the game for Scott is number 3, Reagan Shepard.
Shepler will come in for Scott. And Peterson will have to go back to the locker room to get a blood off. On the right side, Custer. Custer being guarded by Ponder. Left side to Van Hook. Caroline thought about it. Instead, we'll feed it inside to Toll, and Toll will sit from behind. And there's a couple of players in there, and that's Shrimp. Shrimp's first. Team 7th, which means Harrison County's in the bonus here in the second half at the 4:58 mark. Carly Toll will go to the line. Her first trip there tonight. Freshman, couple of dribbles. Takes a long look at the basket, and perfect. Hits a second one. She can stand there as long as she wants. Her first trip to the line this year. So she's perfect so far. And I should have missed that jinxed as it goes off. Scott will take the rebound, and Ponder brings the ball down. Picks it up across the way, gets it back out front, passing it around the arc. Long three-pointer put up by Grant. And no good. That's Peterson out with it. Back to Ponder. Long three-pointer rolls in and back out. Up with the rebound. Scott. One more time they'll try it. They'll miss it again. Out of bounds. Should be Harrison County ball, but let's double check. No, they call the whistle, and the foul this time is against Lunsford. It's Hayden's first. Hudgens comes in for Kennedy. So that'll be the second foul against Harrison County. First against Lunsford. Eagles will put the ball back into play. That's Grant out front. Grant continues to try to move the ball around. Scott will put up the ball, and they'll get it to fall in. And once again, 10-7, back to their biggest lead of 3. That's Overman's 4th point of the ball game. 10-7 or score, 3-point lead. Ponder gets a hand on it, knocks it out of bounds. Harrison County will take it out and see if they can do something with it here. 4:13, second quarter of play. If you're fed up, call Canuck. Canuck Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you may be in. Visit them at CanuckLaw.com. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Scott. Harrison County will keep the ball. Hudgens will try to get the ball into play. Bailey under the Harrison County basket, still having trouble. Gets it to Custer. Custer back to Hudgens. Bailey looking and goes down around the baseline. Tries to go up, and as she does, she ends up out of bounds, and the ball ends up out of bounds. And officials will say you can't do that and hand the ball back to the Eagles. Ponder gets ready to bring the ball down the floor on the right side. Ball knocked out of bounds by Harrison County. Remain Eagle ball. Check it in for the first time tonight for Francesca DeLuna. Comes in for Scott. The Eagles will get the ball into play. They get it into the hands of Overman. Overman called for the travel, and with the turnover, Harrison County will take the ball out. DeLuna is a senior, by the way. Van Hook tries and will get it into the hands of Lunsford. Lunsford hands off to Custer. Custer being closely guarded by the Lady Eagles. And as she tries to go down the right west side, she will be fouled. And this one called against Shrimps, and that's second. Team's 8th, and this will put Custer at the line for 1-1. She's 0 for 2 there here tonight. Couple of dribbles. See if the freshman can get it to fall, and she'll do just that. Makes her 1 for 3. Her 3rd point overall tonight. Eight out of 12 so far this season at the free throw line. Checking back in, Ariana Patterson. And she is joined by Kayla Peterson. Peterson must have got that blood taken care of. 10-8 her score. Harrison County trailing by 2 at 3:51 here in the second quarter. Coming out with it, she'll miss that one. Van Hook gets the rebound, puts it up and in for 2. Caroline's 4th point of the ball game, and we're tied at 10-all. The other end we go. DeLuna looks to go down baseline, 5 feet up, and the official says, nope, you can't do that. She's called for the offensive foul. That'll be DeLuna's first. 10-all score, 3:39. Harrison County with the ball and trying to break this time. Van Hook bringing the ball down. Patterson hanging right with her. Van Hook goes down the lane, a bounce pass over to Hudgens, who put up a long three-pointer. But before that, we got a whistle, and that one's against Patterson, and that's our third. Puts Van Hook at the line. She'll go to the line for two. Carolina's first trip there tonight has done 4 points overall. On the season, 6 for 8, hitting 75%. A little too hard. She'll have another, though. Ponder comes in for Patterson. Ponder in for Patterson. $10 score, 3:27 left here in the first half of play. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have your halftime report brought to you by Joe Cochran and State Farm. She'll miss the second when Harrison County will see Lunsford out with the rebound, hands it off to Toll. Toll puts it up and in for her third point, and the Fillies go up by 2 at 12-10. DeLuna back out front, looking to go to her right on the left side to Ponder. Ponder being picked up by Hudgens. Loses a handle on it, goes and retrieves it. Comes back on the left side, continues to try to move the ball. Gets it into Peterson. Peterson back out to Ponder. Ponder goes to the right side, and Hudgens over. Garden's going to get her. And that's Bailey's first, team third. Kaya Peterson will take it out. The sophomore will get it back into DeLuna. Under 3 minutes. Ball, we'll see it back to Peterson. Peterson goes around everybody, up and in for two. Her fourth point of the ball game, and we're tied at 12-all. On the right side, slowly bringing it down is Keely Custard. The freshman. Being guarded by Grant. Goes inside. Van Hook gives away to Hudgens. Bailey back out front. Peterson hanging right with her. Got a lot of contact inside, but the official says Bailey palmed the ball, and she'll turn the ball over. Harrison County goes back to their bench, and Katie Linville will come back in. DeLuna, Peterson out there. And the ball on the left side. Hudgens going to intercept. Bailey comes down, being double teamed. Gets knocked from behind, and the official says, yeah, that Peterson knocked it out. 12-all score, 2:19 left to play in the first half. Hudgens trying to get the ball into play. Bailey goes on the left side. Van Hook about 15 feet out, misses. DeLuna out with the rebound. Van Hook will pick her up defensively. Hands off to Ponder. Ponder on the left side, looking inside. Goes to the left side to Peterson, though. Long three-pointer, misses everything. Custer down with the rebound. Keely being guarded very closely by Grant. Tries to dribble her way out. Then it's double team. We'll have to fling it up. Ball knocked around, and okay. Timeout call by Harrison County. Scott questioning because they said that the ball they thought the Eagles would come up with it, but nevertheless, 30-second timeout call by Harrison County. The official was standing right in front of the Harrison County bench. 12-12 our score, 1:56 left to play here in the first half of play. It may be difficult to understand everything your teenager is telling you, but with Dustin and Amy at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Call them today at 859-234-4514. Dustin and Amy at Kentucky Farm Bureau. We said stay with us at halftime. We'll take a look how the numbers break down and get you ready for what the rest of the week looks like for both Harrison County and Scott. Van Hook gets ready to get the ball back into play. She'll get it into Custard. 1:54 left to play here in the first half. Tied at 12-all. Toll to Linville. Linville looking inside to Van Hook. She'll get a hand on it, but the Scott will take it away. That's Grant bringing the ball down the floor, looking to go up over across Toll. The ball shot put up no good that time by Overman, and they'll say it was no good because Harrison County fouled her, and that's Hudgens. That's Bailey's second.
At the line for Scott High is number 13, Kayla Overman, shooting 2.
Overman with 4 points overall. First time the Eagles have went to the line here tonight. Misses the first one. She'll have a second. And it's Overman's first trip to the line this year. And she'll go 0 for 2. Harrison County bringing Lunsford back off the bench for Hudgens the rest of the way here. Minute 30. Caroline looking to the left side. Bounce pass across to Custer. Custer looking to go inside. She'll fight her way in, puts it up, and not able to do anything with it as it goes out of bounds. Need to be aware of the defense. He was basically 3-on-1 at that point. Ponder on the left side. Long three-pointer put up by Overman. She'll hit the side of the rim. No good. Ball fought for her. Ponder gets a long rebound. Looking at the right side to DeLuna, who puts up a long three-pointer. It will miss. Out with the rebound will be Linville. 1 minute. Linville goes over across to Van Hook. DeLuna will pick her up very quickly in the backcourt. Tries and will get across the timeline. Little contact going on. Back on the right side. Ball knocked out of bounds. And come on, Mike. Off of Mike Aldridge's tip of his fingers. If he'd not been riding, I bet he'd have had it. 12-all our score. 45 seconds. Custer gets the ball back into play. Goes to the right side. Bounce pass to Lunsford. Lunsford back out front to Toe. Harrison County trying to draw some air out with 30 seconds. Linville. DeLuna all over her. Tries to go inside to Custer or to Van Hook. Van Hook will find Custer 18 feet out, up and in for two. Her 5th point of the ball game. Phillies up 14-12 with 15 seconds. Ponder about 15 feet out, no good. Fall for her. Custer gets the rebound, gets quickly double teamed. Somebody needs to come help her. She'll finally get away. She goes down on the right side, goes inside to Toe. Toe up, no. Ball fought for, and out of bounds it'll go as the first half will go into the books. Harrison County leading here at the end of the second quarter, 14-12, your halftime score. Stay with us. We'll have your halftime report. We'll take a look at how the numbers will also break down. And we'll also take a look ahead as far as Harrison County and Scott High over the next couple of weeks. 14-12 our score. Harrison County leading the Lady Eagles of Scott High. We'll take this time out. When we return, you are listening to Harrison County Phillies basketball here on WCYN. Back here at the Hilltop here at halftime. Our score of 14-12. Harrison County leading the way here at the half. And the last report we had, the boys leading Bishop Rosser 42-17. Yeesh. Never an easy place to go, but not an easy place to go tonight for the Mustangs. Let's take a look at the numbers, how they break down. The first four of the Scott High Lady Eagles. They have a couple of players with 4 points apiece, being Kaylee Overman. Overman with 4, over 2 at the free throw stripe. Kaya Peterson. Peterson with 4 points on the night as well. 2 points for Ariana Patterson. And 2 points for Autumn Ponder. That is the way the Eagles scored at 12 points. Harrison County is led in scoring by Keely Custer. Custer with 5 points, going 5 points, going 1 for 4 free throw strike to account for those 5 points. 4 points for Carolina Van Hook. Van Hook 0 for 2 at the strike. 3 points for Marley Toll. Toll 1 for 2 at the line. And 2 points for Belly Hudgens. Hudgens with 2 points as well. So Harrison County, Custer with 5, Van Hook with 4, Toll with 3, and Hudgens with 2. That is the way the Harrison County scoring has looked. As far as quarter scoring goes, we were tied at 4-all after the first quarter. Then saw Harrison take the second quarter 10-8, and that's where we're tied right now, 14-12 here at the halftime. Halftime being brought to you by Joe Cochran and State Farm Insurance. For any insurance needs, give Joe and his team a call, 859-234-3813. Joe Cochran and State Farm Insurance. Well, as we mentioned after tonight, the Scott High Lady Eagle Ball Club will be back in action next week. Next Tuesday, as a matter of fact, they return to Taylor Mill to take on Lloyd Memorial. They then follow that next week against Covington Holy Cross. That's over at Holy Cross on the Friday night. We follow that on Saturday as they make the trip to Pendleton County. So that is a little bit about how their season looks as far as, and then over the Christmas break, they head to Owensboro and participate in the tournament down there, and then they make the trip to Carroll County for the trip over there. So that is the way the Sky High Lady Eagles reaching 1-1 on the season. Harrison County looking for their first win of the year. They're 0-2. They're back in action tomorrow afternoon here at the Hilltop as they will take on Ludlow. They did fall to Ludlow a year ago. Game time's at 4:30. JV's at 3. They then follow that up on Tuesday night with a trip to Bracken County. And then a week from tonight, they'll make the trip to Paris. So that is a little bit about how Harrison County looks over the next week or so. As far as they've got several games between now and the Christmas break, and over the Christmas break, they will take a little bit of time off, and then after Christmas, they make the trip to Bourbon County, which should be very interesting for Coach Watson as he returns back to his old stomping ground. So that is the way the schedule looks as far as the Fillies go over the next little bit. As far as the Harrison County Thoroughbreds, as we mentioned, they are pretty much having their way with Bishop Brossard up at Alexandria. They're back in action tomorrow afternoon as they make the trip to Bracken County to participate in the 9th, 10th Region Challenge, taking on Boone County out of the 9th. 6 o'clock scheduled start time tomorrow. Then on Tuesday night, they're back at the Hilltop, taking on the defending state champion, George Rogers Clark. The Cardinals come to town. And Friday night, Henry Clay here, John Harden on Saturday. So a busy week for them. They then make the trip to Western Hills, and then they get to participate in one of the oldest events of the basketball season, the Marshall County Hoop Fest. One of the most prestigious events that take place every year. Harrison County going to be a part of that Marshall County Hoop Fest, but just a very long, long drive to Marshall County. 14-12 our score. Lady Eagles back out on the floor, continuing their warm up here. Harrison County remaining in the locker room here at the half. Fillies leading 14-12. As we get ready to get the second half underway. Halftime tonight been brought to you by Joe Cochran and State Farm Insurance. Give Joe and his team a phone call. In fact, I believe Joe will be on coffee break next Friday morning. So you may want to check him out then as well. For any insurance needs you may have, call State Farm at 859-234-3813. Fillies back out on the floor. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we return, we'll have the second half action. Harrison County leading 14-12. You're listening to Harrison County Fillies basketball on WCYN. Both clubs back at the benches and do the last minute instructions. Scott going with their starting lineup from earlier tonight. Presley Grant, Kayla Overman, Ariana Patterson, Kaya Peterson, and Autumn Ponder. Harrison County will make sure they will probably go with their starting lineup, but just to double check it when they come out here in a moment. Coach Watson's still talking to his troops. 14-12 our score. Very low scoring ball game here at the half. But I guess when you have one team that averages 28 points going into play, the other team averaging 56, way below normally what we see out of the Lady Eagles. Harrison County going with Linville and Toll and Van Hook, Custard and Hudgens, so they're back to their starting lineup as well. Ponder will get ready to throw the ball in for the Lady Eagles. She will get it into Patterson. Patterson slowly across the timeline. Looking to go to her right. Hudgens will pick her up. On the right side to Grant. Looking to go inside. She'll throw it down underneath. The shot put up by Overman. No good. Out with the rebound. Back up and for Peterson. Peterson's first bucket of the ball game. We're tied at 14-all. Eagles will take the ball away. Going up with the shot. No good. And a foul. And that one called against Harrison County's Van Hook. And that's her first. Put Overman at the line. Overman 0 for 2 there tonight. That's 4 points overall. Came in averaging 4.5 points and a little too hard. Goes 0 for 3 at the line. 14-14 our score. Barely underway in the second half. 7:35 in the third quarter. She'll hit that one. Lady Eagles will go up by a point at 15-14. Hudgens will find Custard back to Bailey. Bailey almost double teamed. Will throw the ball away. Eagle ball. So back-to-back turnovers. We'll put the Lady Eagles back in control of the ball. 15-14 our score. Back into play. Out front we go. Overman looking to go underneath. Long shot put up. It's the side of the backboard. She comes out with her own rebound. Back out front this time to Ponder. Ponder tries to weave her way in. Toe goes with her. And looks like Toe was a little too close that time. And it will be. That'll be Toe's first. Team second. Ponder will go to the line. She came in averaging 10 points. Does have 2 here at the half. Or in the third quarter. A little too hard.
In the game for the Fillies, number 45, Savannah Kennedy.
The 8th grader, Savannah Kennedy, will come back in for Harrison County. Ponder, 6 for 6 going in this free throw, and she'll hit that one and miss both of them. The other end we go, bringing the ball down. Harrison County having trouble. They'll get it across the timeline. Bailey brings it down, runs straight into Peterson. And Peterson will get whistle for the foul. That'll be her second, first of the half. 15-14, 7:09 to play. Quickly off the bench, Harrison County. Will be Linville. Linville in for Kennedy. Hudgens trying to get the ball into the Harrison County basket. Phillies down by a point. And the ball nearly taken away. Van Hook's able to go get it. Toll back out to Linville to Custard. Looking inside. Van Hook this time gets fouled by Peterson. That'll be her third. Second, Lady Eagle with 3. She'll join Patterson with 3. Off the bench will be another Peterson. That's Courtney Peterson. She's an 8th grader, averages 2 points. That's it. 3 Petersons and 1 Patterson. Back to Linville. Linville to Van Hook. She'll turn around in the lane. Misses the shot. Out with the rebound will be Ponder. Ponder brings it down on the right side. Gets it across to Overman. Long three-pointer, and she'll bury it. First three-pointer of the ball game hit by the club. Her 4th point of the half. 18-14, the biggest lead for the ball club. Full timeout called by Harrison County. And while they're doing that, I'll tell you about Snappy Tomato Pizza. You know about their beast pizza, but don't forget about Snappy's great salads and sandwiches. Phone 235-7627. That's 235.
Snap.
As they will feed you and feed you well. Some good stuff there. Harrison County trailing by their biggest margin, 18-14, looking for their first point here in the second half. 6:44 to play in the third quarter. Harrison County coming out very quietly, as we mentioned. Eagles averaging over 50 points in a ball game for the first two games that they have played. Come out very quickly, scoring the first 6 points to go up 18-14. Eagles will break their huddle first. Tomorrow afternoon here on WCYN2's app, as well as our YouTube page, Fillies and Ludlow. Second time that the schools have met in school history. Last year making that trip up right on the river to Ludlow. They were pulling out of the park or street. There wasn't much of a parking lot. And you didn't make the turn. You were going through the park and straight into the Ohio River. Ball put back into play. Hudgens goes to, or Vano goes back to Hudgens. Ball loose, out of bounds. It'll go. Eagle ball. Patterson will try to get it in. Holds the ball in. She'll find Overman off the glass for two. 7 points for Overman here in the third quarter. Randall tries to bring it down, being trailed by a couple of defenders. Bit of a wild-looking shot, but kisses off the glass for two. Nice shot. 6 points. Other end we go. Overman trying to take over the ball game. Back to Grant. Grant looks inside. Ponder. Ponder looking to go right. Pulls it about 15 feet out. No good as it rolls off the glass. Eagles back up with it. Overman back with the rebound and kisses it up and in for two. Somebody needs to tell Overman to quit shooting. Preferably one of the Harrison County defenders. Back into play. Hudgens with a bounce pass, throws it away. Back into Overman, off the glass for two. She has 10 points here in the third quarter. 24-16. What was a tie ball game at the Harrison County lead at the half, 14-12. Sees a deficit of 24-16. Full timeout, so we'll take it with them. You're listening, of course, to Harrison County Fillies basketball on WCYN. Back here at the Hilltop. 24-16 our score here in the third. It's been all Scott. They have outscored Harrison County 12-2 in the third quarter. 51-28, the Harrison County Thoroughbreds having their way with Bishop Brossard. Linville tries and we'll get the ball back in to Van Hook. Caroline down the floor to Hudgens. Hudgens across the line, looking to the right. Bailey continuing to tries to move from around the top of the key. Picks up her dribble and gets fouled on the way in. And that one against Ponder, and that's Ponder's second. Team's third of the half. Now there's a question at the scorer's table. 24-16, 5:39 left to play here in the third quarter. I think there was a question if somebody came in without checking in, but officials are going to meet and two of them will talk about it. Continue to try to debate. Do you think she came in? The official saying, well, she's standing there. The other one said, are you sure that's her? They continue to discuss. Now they're looking at the scorers table. Continue to talk about out front. And while they're doing that, that'll give me an opportunity to remind you about Joe Cochran and State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Joe and his team are there. Get a new home or auto quote by calling Joe Cochran at 859-234-3813. Official would now come to the table and talk to the official scorer. Not much discussion will continue. 24-16. The official finally says, let's play, and so they came to the conclusion that she's in the ballgame. Hudgens trying to get the ball back into play. Bailey will find Custard. Keeley looking to go in the lane. Pulls up about 5 feet out with about 3 defenders on her. A little too hard out with the rebounds. Grand wants to run. Gets away with the travel. She drug her foot. Back out front to Ponder. Peterson. Peterson back over to Patterson. Patterson down the lane. No good. Out with the rebound. That is Hudgens. Bailey. 3 Eagles on top of her, and finally they're going to call a foul. And if that is against Patterson, that is her 4th. And it will not be against Patterson. That'll be Overman. That'll be Overman's first. I guess that's one way to stop her scoring. 24-16, 5:18 left to play here in the third quarter. Carolina Van Hook will take it out in the backcourt. Gets it back over to Bailey Hudgens. Hudgens slowly comes across the line on the left side, being guarded by Grant. Looking to the right side, a bounce pass to Van Hook, about 18 feet out, off the side of the backboard, no good. Out with the rebounds, Peterson. Peterson wanted to run, goes coast to coast, up in, no. She can't get it to fall. Out with the rebound, the Eagles. Continue to try to move it around, and we'll finally see. Ball knocked out of bounds. They'll call it off of Harrison County. It'll be Eagle ball. 24-16. Biggest lead of the night for the ball club by the Eagles. 4:55, ball put back into play. Peterson gone on the right wing. Linville's going to pick her up. Continue to try to move. She'll lose a handle on it. Van Hook picks it up, and we're going to go the other way. Carolina, bounce pass up front to Hudgens. She can't put a hand on it. Out of bounds it'll go back to the Lady Eagles. They've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you right now. That's Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Michael Furnish, 859-254-2741, or visit efarmcredit.com. Farm Credit Mid-America. Ball put back into play. Long three-pointer put up by Patterson. No good. Out with the rebounds, Van Hook. Caroline tries to go down and will go down to Linville. Linville goes on the left side. Picks up a dribble out front to Hudgens. Hudgens a long three-pointer from the left wing. And that is a Knopplaw three-pointer. That's Bailey's first three-pointer of the ball game. Her 5th point overall. 24-19. Phillies still trail. 4:10 left here in the third. Ball thrown away. Harrison County ball. 24-19, 4:06 left to play here in the third quarter. 51-28, the last report we had, the Breads leading the Mustangs of Bishop Brossard. Breads back in action tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. So take on Boone County. Custard, long three-pointer. Front of the rim, no good. Peterson out with the rebound. She'll go in. She'll just lose a hand on and go down. Call for the travel. Her feet just a little too fast for her. And down she'll go. Hayden Lunsford back in for Harrison County as Hudgens has a seat. The Phillies will take the ball over after the turnover. Trying to cut into this 5-point lead. Gets it to Lunsford. Lunsford down to Custard. Nicely brought down the floor by Harrison County. Custard kisses it off the glass. Up and in for 2. Her 7th point. Phillies trail by 3. Down the floor we go. Patterson will find Grant with a long three-pointer. Too hard. Ball fought for, and coming out with it will be Grant. That was Overman with the three-pointer. Back out to Ponder. Ponder buries a three-pointer. Her first three-pointer, her 5th point overall, and her first here in the third quarter. Lunsford brings the ball across, or actually gets it to Van Hook, who brings it across. Caroline looking inside. Toll gets a hand on it, gets it back out front to Linville. Harrison County resets the offense. Lunsford on the left side. She will find Custer looking inside to Toe. Toe over to the right side. Van Hook gets Patterson up in the air, then fires a three-pointer. No good. Bodies all over the underneath the basket. Whistle against Toll, and that's Toll's second. Team's third of the half. 27-21, 6-point lead. Eagles are led by as many as 8 here in the second half. Patterson bringing the ball down, trying to set up the offense. She'll stand around center court and continues to dribble on the right side. Now to the left. Tries and will get it across to Grant. Grant looking around the free throw stripe, up and in for two. Her first bucket of the ball game. She came in leading the team with 13 points. That's her first basket. 29-21, 8-point lead. Back to the biggest lead for the Eagles. Bringing the ball down, Harrison County. They'll find Van Hook. Van Hook will let her defense, gets by her, puts it up and in for two. Nice shot. Her 8th point. Other end we go. Bringing it down to Patterson. Ponder, long three-pointer, rolls anywhere and falls in. Her second three of the half. 32-23, the biggest lead of 9 now. That's Linville. Linville down the floor to Van Hook. Van Hook nearly loses a handle on the ball, knocked around, and coming out will be Caroline Van Hook. Van Hook back out front to Linville. Linville on the left side. That's where she'll find Custer. 32-23, 1:45 left to play in the third quarter. Continuing to try to move. Stay with us. We'll have the Judy Construction Player of the Game during our post-game report here this evening. Long three-pointer put up by Van Hook. No good as it went in and out. Linville out with the rebound. Tries to go underneath to Lunsford. Ball knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. Harrison County ball. Amberly Turner will come back in. She saw a little action in that first half for the Eagles. Van Hook trying to get the ball and will get it back into play. She'll find Lunsford. Back to Van Hook. To Lunsford to Van Hook on the right side. Looking to bounce pass inside to Toll. Toll tries to go up and ball knocked out by the Eagles defense. Turner down to Grant. Grant goes up and as she does, she'll see the ball knocked out by Lunsford. 32-23, 1:14 left to play here in the third quarter. Trying to get the ball back in. That's the Eagles. Long shot put up. No good. Turner fights her way out for the rebound and kicks it back out to Grant. Grant on the right wing. Grant now tries to go back down the lane around the stripe. She'll find Peterson. 1 minute. Peterson goes in. No ball. No, she'll lose a handle on it. Out of bounds. Turnover back to Harrison County. Phillies need to cut into this 9-point lead before we go to the fourth quarter. Ball put back into play. Van Hook. Van Hook to Linville. Linville will quickly have Overman tie her up. Possession all belongs to Harrison County, though, and Phillies will hang on to it, but nice job by Overman. 8 seniors. 8 seniors on this roster for Scott. The 8th grader, Savannah Kennedy, will come back in as Linville will have a seat for Harrison County. Van Hook, a bounce pass underneath to Lunsford. Lunsford will get it down to Custer. Still need to get it across the line, and she'll do just that. On the left side to Kennedy, down in the left corner. Couple of dribbles. Being double teamed. Gets tied up. Possession will belong to the Eagles. Tomorrow afternoon, as we said, we're with you around 4:30 here on both our YouTube page as well as on WCYN2's app. Ludlow comes to town. Braves in action tomorrow night up at Bracken County at 6 o'clock as they take on Boone County. Long three-pointer off the side of the rim. No good. Turner shot that. Out with the rebounds, Ponder. Ponder to Grant. 24 seconds. Grant stands and holds the ball. Long three-pointer put up by Grant. Too hard. Ball fought for, and Kennedy gets tangled up with Peterson, and possession now belongs to the Harrison County, so the Phillies will take it over with 15.5 seconds. Hudgens back in. Kennedy has a seat. It's hard to tell. She kind of started making her way towards the bench and then kind of slowly came in like she wasn't sure. Lunsford tries to get it into play. Ball taken away by Peterson. Then she nearly loses a handle on it. Back out to Turner. 10 seconds. Turner goes down the lane, up and off the glass for two. Our first bucket. Other end we go. Custer being double teamed, and that's the way the third quarter will come to an end. Well, Scott leading the way, 34-23 at the end of 3. We're going to step out. When we return, we'll have a fourth quarter of action. Harrison County trailing by 11. You're listening to Harrison County Phillies basketball on WC1. Well, we start the final fourth quarter of play. Scott taking that third quarter 22-9. I mean, 10 of those points coming in the hands of Kylie Overman, as we said. Overman averaging 4 points on the year. Ball put back into play. That's Turner. Turner along with Grant. Balloon in the back in the ball game for the Eagles. She'll put up a shot and buries it home. Her first bucket of the ball game. 36-23, biggest lead of the night for either ball club. Van Hook, Hudgens, Toll, Custard, and Lunsford in there for Harrison County. Luna, Overman, Grant, Ponder, and Turner out there for Scott. Van Hook puts it up, no good, and that's Overman out with the rebound. Actually, that's Ponder. Ponder gives it up to DeLuna. DeLuna comes down, bounces around, out of bounds will go, and Harrison County will take the ball over on the turnover. 22-9. Saw the Eagles take that third quarter. Stay with us. Following the ball game, we'll name the Judy Construction Player of the Game during our post-game report. We'll also be joined by the Harrison County coaches, whether it be Coach Watson or Coach Kenny. Somebody will be along with us. Van Hook looking to go underneath. Shot put up, and she's fouled, and it'll fall through the hole. Nice job. Whistle against the Eagles. That's DeLuna's second. Caroline 0 for 2 at the line tonight. She has 10 points overall. 36-25. And perfect. She'll make it a 10-point ball game. So with the 3-point play there, DeLuna brings the ball down the floor. Going underneath and putting the shot by is Overman. Overman 16 points of the 38 points for the Eagles. Hudgens gets it across to Van Hook out on the left wing. Goes to the right. Continues around the top of the key. Bounce pass out to Hudgens. Hudgens looking to go down the lane. It's just too many defenders for her to try to go down that lane. Eagles take it away. DeLuna goes up and in for 2 at the other end. Timeout on the floor. See if it's a full or a 30 or full timeout call by the Eagles, so we'll take it with them. Harrison County trailing 40-26. You're listening to Harrison County Phillies basketball on WC1. Back here at the Hilltop, Phillies trailing 40-26 to the Scott High Lady Eagles. Mentioned Harrison County knocking off the Scott Ball Club just a year ago. They get the ball back into play. Ball knocked around, and DeLuna comes out with it, goes up with it, no good. That's Overman back up with it, and she's fouled on the way to the basket. Whistle against Bailey Hudgens, and that's her third. That becomes the Phillies' first player with 3, and that puts Overman at the line. She's 1 for 4 there tonight. 16 points overall. A little too hard. Your Cynthiana Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. US 27 South, the Cynthiana made from scratch biscuits, never frozen boogers, and many other great options. It's your Cynthiana Hardee's. She'll miss the second one. And now with the rebound will be Harrison County. Custard comes down on the right side. Out front, DeLuna hanging out with her. Back out to Toe, finds Hudgens from the top of the key. Looking inside of Van Hook, out of bounds it'll go. Eagle ball. 40-26. The second half has belonged to the Lady Eagles. Harrison County led at the half, 14-12. Underneath we go, and Turner will put it up, no good. Van Hook out with the rebound. She'll get it to Custard. Custard trying to get away from the defense, coming down on the left side. Gets it across, picks up her dribble, now being double teamed. Timeout called by Coach Watson, and he was seeing his guard being quickly cornered. Full timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. You're listening to Harrison County Phillies basketball on WCYN. Back here at the Hilltop. Phillies trailing 40-26. If you're fed up, call Canup. Canup Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you may be in. Visit them at canuplaw.com. Long three-pointer put up by Van Hook. No good. She'll get the long rebound. Up and no. Rebound fought for. It continues to be volleyed around. And out of bounds off of Harrison County. Eagle ball. Well, the Eagles came in averaging 50-some-odd points. Harrison County came in averaging 28. And they're at 26 at the moment. DeLuna coming down the floor. Goes up and around the defense. Puts it up. No good. Gets her own rebound. And hands it off to Grant. Van Hook on her. Grant looks to go to the right side. Picks up her dribble, goes out front to Overman. Overman goes right, then left, gives it to the right side to Grant with a long three-pointer, up and in for 3. Her 5th point came in averaging 13, 43-26. Back into play we go, and the ball is loose. Lunsford goes and gets it. Now with the rebounds, Hudgens. Bailey on the right side, looking to go left. Picks up her dribble. Back out front to Van Hook. Caroline now back out to Bailey Hudgens. Hudgens trying to reset the offense. She is met by Overman. Gets it back up to Van Hook. Caroline, long three-pointer from the top. No good. Out with the rebound. His body's hit the floor. And get it across to Hudgens, long three-pointer. Tulsa remains down. The official will finally see her and stop the play. 43-26, 4:12 left to play here in the ball game. Trainer and Coach Watson both quickly making their way onto the floor to check out Toll. Harrison County will be going to their bench in a few moments. See Addison Rowe check in. Toll still down. I think she just kind of hit hard, but we'll wait and see. 43-26, 4:12 left to play. Last report, Braves were winning 51-28 over Brossard. It may be difficult to understand everything your teenager is saying, but Dustin and Amy will help at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. At least it's easy to get great insurance. Call them at 859-234-4514. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Stay with us. We will name the Judy Construction Player of the Game during our post-game report. That'll be coming up, as we mentioned, obviously after the ball game. 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to play. Don't forget, in the morning, let's talk sports on WCYN on the radio side of things. That'll get underway bright and early at 8 o'clock in the morning, followed by the bottom line and Coach's Roundtable at noon. Both about how the Braves and the Phillies did. It's all sitting up. They're still over there with her on the floor. 42-26. They'll help her up, and she's in some pain. Is not putting any pressure at all on that right leg. So they'll help her back towards the locker room. She's had a nice game tonight. Does have 3 points overall. And Harrison County will go back to the bench, and it'll be Katie Linville checking in. As far as the Eagles goes, they break their huddle first. DeLuna out there with Ponder, Grant, and Overman, and Turner. Harrison County countering with Van Hook, Linville, who checks back in the ball game. Also out there, Custer, Hudgens, and they are joined by Rowe now in the game. Shot put up by Van Hook. She's fouled as she puts it up, and she'll head back to the line. Whistle called against Turner. Turner's second. This will put Van Hook at the line. Caroline 1 for 3 there tonight. Make her 1 for 4 as she'll miss the first one. Addison Rowe, a sophomore, as we mentioned, in for the Phillies. And that one a little too hard. And coming out with it, fighting for it's Grant. Grant, the senior, will come down the floor. Looking to the right side as we're halfway through the fourth quarter. Left side, Overman gives it up to DeLuna. DeLuna with a couple of dribbles, picks up her dribble, goes it back to Grant. Grant being guarded by Rowe. She'll throw the ball away. Van Hook looking to go down. DeLuna just comes out and basically taps her. Gives it across to Hudgens. Long three-pointer, too hard. Rolls out. Out with the rebound. That's Overman. Overman bringing the ball down the floor. Gets a hand on it. Out of bounds it'll go. They'll call it off of Harrison County, and it will remain Eagle ball. 3:32 left to play. 43-26. DeLuna back out front. Ponder throwing it in that time. Gets it again to Overman, about 5 feet out. No good. Van Hook out with the rebound, and Caroline wants to run. So slow things down as the defense gets back. Van Hook comes across the line, looking to the right side. Spin move around the free throw stripe. Still trying to get away from her defender, Turner. Puts it up, no good. Ball fought for, and out with the rebound with the Eagles, and nearly threw it away. Turner then retrieves it, goes down the lane over the top of Hudgens. She puts it up, and Bailey's going to get her. That'll be her fourth. That'll be her, her fourth. First Philly with 4. Let's put Turner at the line. Her first trip there tonight. She does have 2 points overall. Turner, a couple of dribbles, puts it up, and a little too hard. Not able to make it fall. Turner's first trip to the stripe this season. She'll have a second one. Got some subs in there. Kennedy back off the bench for Harrison County. We'll get the other names for the Eagles in a moment. This rolls on in there, hit everywhere, and finally fell through. 44-26, 3-minute mark. Harrison County trailing. Custer being picked up by Ponder on the left side. Saw Rowe try to go up with it, and as she did, DeLuna got a hand on it. Actually, that's not DeLuna. That's, yeah, that's DeLuna. Checking in for Harrison County, Allison Dye, a sophomore. Gets it into Van Hook. Van had a nice JV game for Harrison County. Van Hook goes up, and if she does, she'll be fouled. And that's by one of the new players for the Eagles. Number 3, Sheffers. That's her third. This will put Van Hook back at the line. And bounces on in there. Nice job. She'll have another. Well, DeLuna will have a seat as Grace Brandon will come in for the Eagles. Custer will have a seat as Harrison County goes to their bench and brings in Madeline Carson. Carson, a sophomore. Second one will not fall. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Overman. Lunsford comes in for Van Hook. So Kennedy, Lunsford, Rowe, Dye, and Carson out there for Harrison County. Dye trying to get it in, and she's got to be close to 5, and the official says, yeah, she was over. And so with the turnover, it will be Eagle ball. 44-27, 2:46 left to play. Ball put back into play. Eagles bringing the ball down. Schaffer will get it across. Back out front we go. That's Overman. Moving the ball around. The Eagles try to go inside, and they'll keep a hold of the ball. Long three-pointer put up by the Eagles. A little too hard, and out with the rebound will be Carson. That's Price taking that shot while ago. Harrison County take the ball out. This side of the Scott bench. Dye will throw it in the back to Carson. Allison brings it across the timeline. Price all over her. Bounce pass across the way. Harrison County trying to move the ball. Looking inside. That's Rowe. And that's Brandon will pick up her first foul. And yet another substitution. Jayla Sanders checking in. Sanders, a sophomore. And this will put Rowe at the line, looking for her first point of the year. Couple of dribbles. Little bounce, too hard, but it bounces, found its way through the hole. She'll have another one. Checking in for Harrison County will be Maddie Jones. Jones, a freshman. And Madeline Spencer, a junior for the Eagles, will also come in. 2 minutes left here in the ball game. Lots of time. 44-28. Roll a little too hard, and ball fought for, and Eagles will come out. That's Sheffer, and Sheffer will throw it away. Kennedy nearly traveled, but is able to stop across the way. We'll see Dye reset the offense. Allison looking to go to her left. Tries to go inside, and Harrison County still moving the ball around. Throwing it away. That's Price. Takes it away. She'll go up and in for 2, and she's fouled on the way to the basket. Price will get it to fall. First basket. Foul called against Harrison County. That's Carson. Madeline Carson's first. Price's first bucket of the night, and she'll go to the line for her first trip, and she'll sink it. 47-28, biggest lead right now at 19. 1:34 left to play. On the left side, looking inside, Harrison County moving the ball around. Trying to go inside to Kennedy, and time she just stripped, and the other end we go. That's Sanders bringing the ball down the floor. Sanders goes to the right side. Swift goes back out front, nearly throws the ball away. Looking inside, ball knocked around, out of bounds off of Harrison County. Kelsey Breeze will check in for the Eagles. Breeze will quickly get the ball back. Harrison County will foul. Looks like by reaction against Carson. And it will be. It'll be Carson's second. And checking in the ball game is Brianna Hall. Just about everybody that Coach Pouncey brought with him, I think, has gotten in there. Going to the stripe. And the shot put up is the Eagles, no good. And we got a rebound. It's Sanders. Rebound, one to Harrison. We got another foul. This one against the Eagles.
At the line for the Fillies, number 11, Addison Rowe, shooting one.
Addison Rowe will go to the line. Foul called against Brandon. That's her second. Rowe 1 for 2 at the stripe tonight. 1:04 left to play. Stay with us. We'll have our postgame report coming up after the game. Good time to have a postgame. Shot put up, no good. Dye with the rebound. Allison went to go up with it, and she does. She's fouled by a couple Eagles, and they're going to whistle. That went on Brandon, and
shooting 2 shots.
I remember that's her third. Let's put Allison at the line. First trip there tonight, looking for point number 1 on the year. The sophomore. A little too hard. She'll have a second one. Keep wanting to call her outfielder. I'm used to her playing outfield, not used to her playing basketball. Ty gets ready to go up, and perfect. The first bucket of the year. 47-29, we hit the 1 minute mark. Eagles bring the ball down the floor. Sanders looking to go inside, ball knocked around, and Rowe will come out with it for Harrison County. Nicely done. Ball throw down the floor. Fillies. Carson gets it to Dye. Long three-pointer put up Allison. In and out, no good. Ball with the rebound is the Eagles. Late Eagles bringing the ball down the floor. 38 seconds, 47-29. Back out front. Looking inside. They're moving the ball around. Scott High. Go under 30 seconds. Scott will pick up their second win on the year to go 2-1. The Phillies will follow 0-3 with the date with Ludlow tomorrow afternoon as we hit 20 seconds. Little body contact that time. The whistle a little bit late, but they're finally going to give Allison Dye her first.
At the line for the Eagles is number 22, Madeline Spencer.
Spencer will go to the line. It'll be her first trip there tonight. 47-29. A little too hard. Out with the rebound, the Eagles. They'll go right back on the attack. Shot put up no good. And Dye just comes down with authority with the rebound. Allison looking to go coast to coast off the glass for 2. 47-31. 2-1. Harrison County will fall here tonight by your final of 47-31 to the Scott High Eagles. Tell you what we'll do. We're going to step out. When we return, we will begin our post-game report. Harrison County falls to 0-3. Eagles go to 1-2. Stay with us. We've got a lot more to come here from the floor at the Hilltop. Harrison County and the Scott High Eagles. You're listening to Harrison County Phillies basketball on WCYN. Well, we return here to the floor of Rupp Arena. Harrison County, as we mentioned, falling here tonight. 47-31, your final. Stay with us. We will name the Judy Construction player of the ball game here during our post-game report. also talked to someone from the Harrison County coaching staff. So all that's still to come here from the floor at the Hilltop. Doing a little bit more math to kind of get you some of the final totals here. Phillies back in action tomorrow afternoon. So I'll try to get on the winning side of things one more time as they take on Ludlow. The Lady Raiders, as we mentioned, had a big win over Harrison County just a year ago up there. Only the second time the schools have met. And that'll be tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 is scheduled tip-off. We'll be along with you both here on the YouTube page as well as on our WCYN2's app. Harrison County Thoroughbreds, as we mentioned, in action. The last time we heard, it was 51-28. That's been a little while, so we'll have to see if we can get an update of what's going on up as they're playing up at Bishop Brossard. They're back in action tomorrow night as well as they make the trip to Bracken to take on Boone. Let's take a look how far the individual numbers go. First, for Scott High, they were led in scoring by Kylie Overman. Overman came in averaging 4.5 points, had 16, 12 of those coming in that second half. 10 of those coming in the third quarter. So she had a big third quarter to help count for her 16 points. She was the only player in double figures for Scott. Autumn Ponder. Ponder had 8 points overall, including a couple of big three-pointers in that third quarter. Went 0 for 2 with the free throw stripe on the night. As far as the rest of the scoring goes, we'll take a look at that. Presley Grant. Grant with 5 points on the night. All those coming in the second half. 2 points for Ariana Patterson. Patterson with 2. 4 points for Kaya Peterson. Peterson with 4. All those coming in the second quarter. 2 points for Kylie Peterson. Peterson came in averaging 7 points, was very quiet on the ball game. She had some foul issues and couldn't quite get away from them. 3 points for Amberly Turner. Turner off the bench with 3, including going 1 for 2 at the stripe. 4 points for Francesca DeLuna. DeLuna with 4 points in that fourth quarter. Madeline Spencer went 0 for 1 at the stripe. Noelle Price had 3 points on the night, going 1 for 1 at the stripe. And Jayla Sanders 0 for 1 at the free throw stripe tonight as well. That is the way the individual numbers look for Scott. Harrison County was led in scoring by Carolina Van Hook. Van Hook with 12 points overall on the night to lead Harrison County in scoring. And as we mentioned, 8 of those coming in that second half. Going 2 for 7 at the free throw stripe on the night. And did Van Hook. Rest of the scoring, Keely Custer was 7 on the night, had 5 in that first half. She came in averaging 13 points. 5 points for Bailey Hudgens. Hudgens with 5. 3 points for Allison Dye. Dye with 3, going 1 for 2 at the stripe in that fourth quarter. Addison Rowe off the bench, going 1 for 3 at the stripe with her count for her 1 point. 3 points from Marley Toe. Toe going 1 for 2 at the stripe tonight. As far as our Judy Construction player of the ball game, I'm going to give that to the senior, Caroline Van Hook. Van Hook with 12 points, doing a nice job tonight. Had 12 points overall. She will be our Judy Construction player of the ball game. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give the coaches just a couple more minutes and see if anyone comes out. They are still back with the kids. And if they do, we'll talk with them. If not, you can hear their comments tomorrow during roundtable at 11 o'clock in the morning on the radio. So we'll give them a couple more minutes. Harrison County, as we mentioned, you take it no bread score? Okay. So we're going to assume they kept that lead and walked away with a big win tonight to go to 3-0. Harrison County Thoroughbred side of things will be back in action tomorrow evening at around 6 o'clock as they make the trip to Bracken to take on Boone County, the Rebels, tomorrow night. So that should be an interesting matchup. 9th and 10th region will be tangling for that. As far as the Scott High Lady Eagles, we'll take a look at their schedules. We mentioned they're back in action next week. As soon as I find the Scott schedule, I'll tell you where they're going to be. They go to 2-1 on the year. And the day after tonight, they will be back in action sometime soon. On everyone else's schedule. Here we go. They're back in action on Tuesday as they'll be back at home taking on Lloyd Memorial. They'll then follow that up next Friday night as they'll make the trip to Covington Holy Cross. And on Saturday, they'll be just north of here as they take on the Lady Cats of Pendleton County in action up in Falmouth. That is the way the Scott High Lady Eagles look. We mentioned the Breds are back in action tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock as they'll take on Boone County up in Brighton. This Harrison County Ball Club also back in action tomorrow as they'll take on Ludlow. 4:30 is scheduled tip-off. We'll have our pregame a little before that tomorrow evening here on WCYN2's app as well as on our YouTube page here this evening. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap up our coverage here from the Hilltop this evening. As we mentioned, tomorrow, Let's Talk Sports gets underway at 8 o'clock on WCYN Radio. Bottom line will follow, and then, of course, after that will be Roundtable, where Jim will be talking with the coaching staff as far as both the Breds and the Fillies. And we'll sure get some comments about tonight's ball game. Well, as we mentioned, tonight's game has been brought to you by Cynthiana Tire, Ag Credit, Angelo's Pizzas, Sora Home Medical, Van Hook Hardware, Poindexter Lumber, Primo Smiles, Harrison Memorial Hospital, Southern States, Edward Jones, Bluegrass Stockyards, Hinton Mills, Unity Christian Church, by your Cynthiana Hardys, by Canup Law, by Joe Cochran's State Farm, by Judy Construction. Also brought to you by Snappy Tomato Pizza, Farm Credit Mid-America, Mike Furnish, your Cynthiana Hardys, as well as Kentucky Farm Bureau with Amy Davis and Dustin Rose. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here from the Hilltop. We need to say a big thank you, of course, to the folks not only that allowed us here that way, but also the folks that ran our equipment tonight. All the way back from Richmond, Ryan Annis. Ryan doing an excellent job as always as we put him to work anytime he comes across the county line. And also to Trent Harris is Trent up there running camera tonight as well. As we mentioned, Harrison County goes to 0-3. They're back in action tomorrow as they take on Ludlow. Game time 4:30, pregame a little before that here on the WCYN2 app as well as on our YouTube page tomorrow afternoon. Scott High goes to 2-1 on the year. They win over Harrison County 47-31, your final here from the Hilltop on this Friday night. We thank you most of all for spending a little bit of your Friday night along with us. Until tomorrow afternoon at around 4:30,